Hello students, welcome to the e-learning platform of FMS. Today we are going to start with third chapter of chemistry. So welcome to the chapter Atoms and Molecules. In the previous chapters we have studied about matter, where we classified matter into pure and impure substance. With respect to pure substance, we classified matter into two categories, that is elements and compounds. But we were still not aware about the smallest particle of these matter, which we are going to find out in this chapter. So before moving into that, we must learn certain laws of combination. There is laws of chemical combination. First learn about combination. The process of combination of two or more elements to form new compounds is governed by the certain laws that are known as laws of chemical combination. That means whenever you are performing a chemical reaction or doing any chemical combination, these laws should be followed. The first of them is law of conservation of mass. Second one, law of constant proportion. Law of constant proportion was given by Proust and law of conservation of mass was given by Lavoisier. Law of conservation of mass. This law states that mass can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. For example, if I need to perform a chemical reaction, that is carbon combines with oxygen or burns in presence of oxygen to give us carbon dioxide. If you have taken 12 grams of carbon and combined it with 32 grams of oxygen, the total weight of the CO2 is 44 grams. That means the net total weight is always equal with respect to reactants and products. No mass during a chemical reaction is destroyed or new mass cannot be created. Whatever the mass, it will always remain constant. Although it can be transformed from one form to another form. Or you can say here 12 grams of carbon and 32 grams of carbon combined and gave us 44 grams of CO2. But with respect to weight, the mass remains constant. This is known as law of conservation of mass. Next, law of constant proportion. This law states that in a chemical substance, the elements are always present in a definite proportion by mass. For example, the ratio of hydrogen and oxygen in pure water is always 1:8 by their weight. And this law is also known as law of definite proportion, or you can say law of constant proportions. Example, as stated, H2. In this H2 molecule, we are having hydrogen and oxygen. There are two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. The weight of two atoms of hydrogen is 2 grams, and that the weight of oxygen is 16 grams. Now, if we take the ratio, the simple ratio is 1:8. This means if water is there, irrespective of the source of water, from wherever, or you can say whichever part of the world this water is, either from space or borewell, or you can say the supply water, irrespective of its origin, water will always have hydrogen and oxygen in a ratio 1:8 with respect to their masses. The same is followed for any other compound. For example, if I'm talking about carbon dioxide, CO2, it will always contain one atom of carbon and two atoms of oxygen. And with respect to their weight, in CO2, we are having 12 grams of carbon and 32 grams of oxygen. And when you do the ratio, that's 12 is to 32. So 4 3s are 12 and 4 8s are 32. So the ratio comes to be 3 is to 8 with respect to carbon and oxygen. So anyway, if it is carbon dioxide either obtained from combustion or the one we are breathing out, carbon dioxide will always have a ratio 3 is to 8 with respect to carbon and oxygen. By using these laws, Dalton gave his atomic theory. According to Dalton's atomic theory, all matters, whether an element, a compound, or a mixture, is composed of small particles called atoms. There are a few postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. First one is matter is made up of extremely small, indivisible particles called atoms. This word is very important. Small, indivisible particles called atoms that can neither be created nor be destroyed. Second, atoms of same substance are identical in all aspects. That is, they possess same size, same shape, same mass, and similar chemical properties. Example, if we talk about iron, Fe. So if we take an iron rod, all of us are aware that iron is attracted by magnets. So if we take this whole rod, then it will be attracted by the magnet. Or even if you take a very small piece of this iron, the smallest one will also get attracted by the magnet. That means the smallest particle of iron will show the same properties as that of the complete iron rod. So this iron is made up of large number of iron atoms. Then all the particles or all the atoms of iron will have similar properties and shape, size, and mass. Coming to the next point, atoms of different substances are different in all aspects. That is, they possess different size, different shape, mass, etc. Again, if we compare iron with aluminium, so if we take an aluminium rod, aluminium will be made up of large number of aluminium atoms. Here, iron was made up of iron atoms and aluminium is made up of aluminium atoms. Now, all iron atoms will get attracted by the magnet while none of the aluminium atom will be attracted by the magnet. Despite iron is being made up of atoms and aluminium also being made up of atoms, but both of them are made up of two different atoms. And that is what the point states. Atoms of different substances are different in all aspects. That is, they possess different size, shape, mass, etc. Next point, atom is the smallest particle that takes part in a chemical reaction. Atoms of different elements combine with each other in a simple whole number ratio to form a compound. For example, we have H2, which is formed by the combination of hydrogen and oxygen. But during this combination, ratio is very important. Here, for a balanced chemical equation, we write down 2 molecules of hydrogen is combining with 1 molecules of oxygen to give us 2 molecules of water. So the combining ratio is 2:1. That means whenever hydrogen and oxygen are combining in a ratio 2:1, they will always yield us water. But if we are changing this combining ratio, for example, we are just writing H2 plus O2 and the combining ratio is 1:1, then we will be getting H2O2. This is hydrogen peroxide. The moment you change the combining ratio, compound will be changed. So that is why the point says atoms of different elements combine with each other in a simple whole number ratio to form compound. The relative number and kinds of atoms are constant in a given compound. As here we have seen water, the ratio is 2:1. Hydrogen peroxide, the ratio is 1:1. So what did we learn with Dalton's postulates? That atoms are the smallest tiny particles of matter which can't be divided further. An atom is the smallest building block of matter, and in one single statement we can write down that atom is the fundamental particle of all matter. Means each and every matter is made up of atom. So let's learn about few atoms and their symbols, or you can say elements and their symbols. So IUPAC, that is International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, approves the names of elements. Now, the abbreviation of these elements are termed as their symbols, as the name is lengthy. So we write down the elements or represent the elements with their symbols. Now, symbol of an element is found by writing only the first letter or the first letter followed by second or some other letter of English name or Latin name of that element. While writing the symbol, the first letter is always capital and the second is always small. Here are a few examples given to us. For example, aluminium, it is represented as Al, where A is capital, L is small. Argon, Ar. Barium, Ba. But we need to learn certain symbols that is very necessary, starting from H, that is hydrogen, then helium, Li, that is lithium, Be, beryllium, B, boron, C, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon. Next, can have sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, P for phosphorus, S sulfur, Cl chlorine, Ar that is argon, K potassium, please remember this, K potassium, and Ca calcium. Here the atomic numbers is from 1 to 20. So these are the first 20 elements of periodic table. That is must. So you can go through this table and try to learn the symbols of certain elements. So till now we have studied that matter is made up of atoms, and we also know that matter have specific mass or You can say each and every matter will have a specific mass, or you can say some mass is present. That means there might be some mass of every atom, although they are microscopic, but atoms do possess mass, and this mass of an atom is known as atomic mass. But since they are microscopic in nature, and we are talking about 18th century, way back, at that time the chemistry wasn't developed. So scientists try to calculate atomic masses by relating it to different atoms. Initially, hydrogen was used as a standard, but later it was replaced by carbon. So let's study about atomic masses. So it is defined. Atomic mass of an element may be defined as the average relative mass of an atom of the element as compared with the mass of an atom of carbon C12. This is the carbon isotope which was taken as standard. So this carbon C12 was awarded the mass 12 AMU, where AMU means atomic mass unit. But today this AMU is replaced by U, small u, which is known as unified mass. In the earlier days, AMU were we using, but nowadays we are using unified mass for mass of one single atom. So atomic mass is equals to mass of one atom of an element divided by 1/12 of the mass of an atom of carbon. Therefore, in 1961, for universally accepted atomic mass unit, C12 isotope was chosen as a standard reference for measuring atomic masses. Now, one atomic mass unit is a mass unit equal to exactly 1/12 the mass of one atom of carbon. And the relative atomic masses of all elements have been found with respect to the atom of carbon 12. So this was taken as a standard. Based upon this, every element has been provided their masses. For example, we can have atomic masses of few elements. So hydrogen, the atomic mass was given as 1. Helium, it was 4. Lithium, the atomic mass was 7. Beryllium is 9. Boron, 11. Carbon, 12. Nitrogen, 14. Oxygen, 16. Fluorine, 19. Sodium, very important, 23. Magnesium, 24. Aluminium. So atomic masses of few elements have been provided to us. For example, hydrogen it is 1, carbon it is 12, nitrogen 14, oxygen 16, sodium 23, magnesium 24, sulfur 32, chlorine 35.5, and calcium that is 40. And please remember the unit, that is U. Earlier it was AMU, that is atomic mass unit. Now it has been replaced by the IPSC as U. So let's try to understand the term gram atomic mass. So atomic masses of an element expressed in grams is known as gram atomic mass. If you are expressing in U, then it is atomic mass, but if the mass is expressed in grams, then it is known as gram atomic mass. So for example, hydrogen, if I'm writing 1 U and 1 gram, this 1 U means this is mass of, so this 1 U means mass of 1 atom of hydrogen. But when we say 1 gram, this is known as gram atomic mass of hydrogen, and this means it is mass of 1 mole of hydrogen atom. What do we mean by mole? That we will be learning later, but still, as it came across, 1 mole means 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23. That is the number. So always remember, U and G are two different terms. When the mass is represented in U, that means we are talking about one single atom. When it is represented in grams, we are talking about its gram atomic mass. Coming to the next term, molecules. A molecule is a group of two or more than two atoms of same or different elements that are chemically bonded. For example, when we combine hydrogen and oxygen, here we are talking about hydrogen, but we haven't written H. We have written H2. That means in this there are two atoms of hydrogen. So two atoms of hydrogen are together, that is in combination. And similarly, two oxygen atoms are together. So these are known as molecules. Other example is H2O, where we have hydrogen as well as oxygen. All of them are present together. This is an example of molecule. CaCO3, that is calcium carbonate. Again, calcium, carbon, and oxygen molecules are together. Hence, it is an example of molecule. Coming to the next term, that is atomicity. The number of atoms present in a molecule of an element or a compound is known as its atomicity. Example, in H2 there are two atoms. Hence it is diatomic molecule. So molecule consisting of two atoms will be known as diatomic molecule. Here, this H2O molecule, it is consisting of three atoms, two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen. Hence, it is known as triatomic molecule. That is known as atomicity. Just the number of atoms present in given molecule.